My friends and my family, this is Trevor Chapman, modern-day man, entrepreneur, achiever, purveyor of the good life, student of life, marketer. After over 10 years in business, tens of millions of dollars, I've learned this one thing. There's too much noise. It takes tactics and strategy. You can't buy it, you earn it through experience. Failure after failure hones the craft. You must become a warrior. It's time to run. The experience you can't buy. You had to have earned it. It's my turn to give back and contribute. I share all of my lessons from 7 to 8 and from 8 to 9 figures. We'll see if it goes from 9 to 10, but I'm gonna give it all to you. Consistency, persistence, dedication, vision, time, discipline, work. I'm gonna give it all to you so that you learn from where I failed and you learn from my experience. My brothers, this is your daily fuel.
What up, my friends? This is Trevor. I've got to be a little quiet. It's like 2 a.m. here. We just got back after a road trip, and I was on this workplace app, this Facebook workplace app, in this group for this little conference I'm going to attend. And as I was scrolling through it, because I got like a million updates, I found that it was full of men who are talking about all the issues that they have. They grew up without a daddy. They grew up with no money. They grew up with this or that or the other. And little by little, I continued to get turned off until eventually I just am kind of like, hey man, this is not my thing. This group is not for me. And I'll tell you why. Because I fundamentally disagree with the message that is there. And I'll tell you that message. Here it is. You ready? It's not your conditions. It's your decisions that determine everything. It is never your conditions. And it is always your decisions that determine absolutely everything in life. You know what? Nobody grew up in an ideal circumstance. Nobody grew up with perfect parents. Nobody grew up with absolutely every luxury moment that we all wish we had. In fact, as I look back on my life, it was the moments I despised that I owe everything to. Everyone's heard that knows me knows that my least favorite chore growing up was catching the family's limit in salmon so we could make it through the winter. But I owe everything to that. It is precisely that taught me that anything material matters not. And that the only thing that matters is getting your hands dirty and getting the job done. I owe everything to that. Early on, I decided I can sit here and victimize myself and complain about everything I don't have, complain about everything that they do have, and wallow in that and become so tied up that I'm going to have issues for the rest of my life, or I can be a transitional character. I choose to be a transitional character. You've got to choose to just be a transitional character. Like you've just got to decide to do it. Stop putting power in everyone else's hands and in everything else's hands. Nobody has any power over you, nor does anything have power over you. I look at all my buddies that I wanted to trade places with growing up that had everything they wanted. Parents had great careers, lots of money. They had the bike they wanted, the clothes they wanted. I look at them now, and I would never in a million years trade places with them because it was my hardships that defined me. It was seeing what I didn't want to have in my future that helped give me the drive to create what I want. You are not the result of anything but your decisions. You are not the result of anything that's happened to you, but how you've decided to deal with it. So drop the ball. Drop it. You don't need that. You're better than that. What are you doing? Giving power to something that happened when you were 4 years old? Giving power over to something that didn't happen when you were 13? I played every sport in my high school until it became time to play for the jerseys. And once we had to pay for the jerseys, I had great excuses on why I just couldn't do it that year. It was never the reason that I didn't have money, but I have no issue. I have no problem. You should have no problem, and you should have no issue. Stop letting the past dictate your future. Do not let yesterday hold tomorrow hostage. And as I scroll through these things, I'm just like, man, this is a whole bunch. Here are a whole bunch of victims, man. Victims of themselves. Victimizing themselves. Giving power to everything but themselves. And it's a sad thing. So, guys, I had a great message prepared today because everything that could have gone wrong on this road trip went wrong. And there was a great moral, an allegory, an Aesop's fable. But when I saw this, I realized that this victimization, that this blame, that this pointing fingers is rampant and everywhere. It was not him or her or this or that. It either is you or it isn't you. And it is not anything or anyone else, and it is not anything or anyone else. You are exactly where you are because of you and no one else. And I promise the sooner you embrace that, the sooner you'll get where you want to be. Because then you won't be pointing to everyone else and all the things that you wish they would have done differently, because you would still be in the same spot. You potentially would be in a worse spot. Had I grown up how I wanted to, I'd be nothing of what I am. Nothing. Don't fall victim to wanting the luxury and comfort that the trust fund kids have, because they end up dying of drug overdoses. And I'm generalizing. I'm sure there is a trust fund child listening to this who is saving the world. But I'm speaking generally because there are too many people pointing at circumstances and conditions and have no clue that what they should be pointing at are decisions, their decisions. Much love, much respect, my friends. Till tomorrow. Trevor out.